Dear brothers and sisters, today is the solemnity of the most blessed Trinity or most holy Trinity. The word Trinity, but we know that it was first used in the second century and in the third century. In the second century, it was used by Theophilus of Antioch. In the third century, it was used by Tertullian, the theologian. Now, Trinity basically means three. It means that God is one, manifesting in three persons. It is not, three theism, but Trinity or Trinitarian. Because if we say three theism, it means we are talking about three gods. No, in the Catholic Church, we are not talking about three gods. So we are not talking about three theism, but we are talking about Trinitarian. Now, it is one God manifesting in three persons. We shall talk about the meaning of person. Now, one God manifesting in three persons, in the Father as the creator of the whole world, in the Son as the redeemer of creation, in the Holy Spirit as the sanctifier of creation. For us to understand a little bit of what we are talking about, let's go to what St. Thomas Aquinas said in Latin. He says, agere sequitur esse. Now, it talks about that everything acts, through the action of something or through the behavior of someone, you get to know much about the person. Okay, and Jesus will put this in a simple way that by their fruits we shall know them. Each time we talk about the Trinity, it's a mystery, but there are certain things we can understand about this mystery. Each time we speak about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit as the three persons in the Blessed Trinity, let us bear in mind that we are using what we call anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism means using human language to explain eternal realities or eternal truths. It may be problematic for some people to understand, but when we look through the Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament, there are so many indications about the Trinity. But if you are looking for the word Trinity in the Bible, be sure you will not find it. Just as you will not find the word Bible inside the Bible. And you cannot find your name inside the Bible. I will not find my name inside the Bible. Of course, some people can find their names in the Bible. But bear in mind also that the Bible was written from the tradition. Okay? And that's why we speak about sacred tradition and sacred scriptures, and of course the magisterium as the sources of divine revelation. Go back to John chapter 21, verse 25. John will say that there are so many things that Jesus taught and did that were not written down in this book, because if they were to be written down, no book can contain all of them. So we know that Jesus revealed so many things, and one of those things that he revealed was the reality about the Blessed Trinity. If you look at our first reading today, you will see clearly that in the time of creation, because we know the Father is the one who created the world. But when the Father was creating, he was not alone. That's what we see in the book of Proverbs today, which is our first reading. So, in the moment of creation, the Father was not creating alone, even though he was the sole creator, but he was presently, that creation took place in the presence of another person or persons. If you look to Genesis chapter 1, you will see that in the moment of the creation of the human person, you see what we call the we formula. We formula. Let us. One person cannot say, let us. So if there are more than one person, the person will usually say, let us. So the us, let us make man, in our own image, us and our, which means that the Father was not alone. The Father had the Son and the Holy Spirit with him at the moment of creation. And this is what we call, what can explain this in theology is what we call perichoresis. That the Father, perichoresis literally means the dance, dancing in a cyclic way. But it is also explained, or it also explains the fact that The Father is in the Son is in the Father and the Son are in the Holy Spirit. So they are inseparable because it is one God manifesting in three persons. So there are so many things that we reflect on in when we try to know about the Blessed Trinity. What about in Matthew chapter 28, where Jesus himself said, baptize them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. So that's another revelation, clear revelation of the Blessed Trinity. So the Blessed Trinity is not something abstract, but is something that we can learn a lot, especially the unity, the relationship, the communication, the love between them, the understanding, in the Blessed Trinity. This is what we see also in the gospel today, where Jesus is speaking about the Holy Spirit who will guide us. The Holy Spirit knows everything about Jesus. He takes what belongs to Jesus because they all belong to one. So that unity in the Blessed Trinity is one thing that is lacking in our families, in our world today. So if we really want to learn something from the Blessed Trinity, the first thing we should look at is the reality of unity. The unity is made possible because of the love and also the relational nature of the Blessed Trinity, which each and every one of us inherited at the moment that God breathed the air of life into us. We all inherited that. We inherited that relational nature. That's why you cannot stay too long, so many years, without reaching out to someone. We are all relational. It is very natural to every human being, and we took that from the Blessed Trinity. So let's look at the Trinity. It means three. Three, diba? So what are the words that we can use? Three words that we can use every day to enhance, to promote our relationship. I love you. I am sorry. You are beautiful. I cherish you. I forgive you. These are three, words that we can use that can change the life and change our relationships every day. So in the second part of this reflection, I like to focus on what I call RAL, respect. If you want to promote your relationship, you must learn how to respect one another. And when we talk about respect, every respect is built upon the reality of love. First Corinthians chapter 13 from verse 4 to 7 tells us about love. The A means acceptance. Acceptance is not just welcoming someone inside your house, but acceptance means accepting the person the way he or she is. Not imposing whoever you want the person to be, but accepting the person's ideology, accepting the person's orientation, accepting the person's sexuality, accepting everything about the person. It may be difficult, but love makes it possible. Okay, the final one is L, which is listening. Listening is one of the ways we promote our relationship. The more we listen to one another, the more our relationship becomes better. Finally, some of the basic things we learn from the Blessed Trinity, which is also part of the attributes of the Blessed Trinity that we can live out every day of our lives, is the first one is the love. The love in the Blessed Trinity. The second one is the goodness of the Blessed Trinity. We can learn to be good. It is not inherited, it is something we learn. Number three is mercy. We can learn to be merciful. It is not something that we inherit, okay? The fourth one is generosity. When you look at our first reading today and look at the second reading and look at the responsorial psalm and the gospel, you will see the generosity of the Blessed Trinity. In the second reading, St. Paul tells us that through Jesus we have received access to the Father. In the responsorial psalm, we are told that because of the love that God has for us, He gave us the gift of dominion. And that's why among everything that God created, we are the number one. That's divine generosity. Today, as we celebrate the solemnity of the Blessed Trinity, let us ask ourselves the basic questions. How can we promote unity, love, respect, listening, attentiveness, among us as a family in our relationships? It is possible. Every human being is the image of God, and God is love. So it is possible for us. We are all capable of loving if only we can sit down, evaluate ourselves, and remove everything that stops us from loving one another. So let us talk about our relationships today and how to make our relationships to be better. Remember, there's no perfect relationship, but looking at the Blessed Trinity, we can actually learn how to be united, how to love, and how to become impenetrable. Not allowing anyone to just penetrate us in our families and destroy us with gossip or chismes or whatever you call it. But if we really are united, people, outsiders can never penetrate us. May God bless you.